You awaken each morning with a mind as untamed as a wild river, rushing with thoughts, some deliberate, some unbidden. And yet the most powerful force in the universe is not outside you, it is within you. It is your mind. And today you must understand this. Your mind is both your battlefield and your sanctuary. When doubt creeps in, it does not arrive as a shout, it arrives as a whisper. When fear presses against your chest, it does not roar, it sneaks into the corners of your thinking, casting shadows over your ambition, over your purpose, over your very belief that you can rise above mediocrity. I tell you this because for every great triumph in history, for every Edison who refused to surrender to failure, every Carnegie who built empires from nothing, every Lincoln who stared into the abyss of a divided nation and found a path forward, there came a moment when doubt and fear knocked at the door. Do you know what separated them from the average man or woman who succumbed? They had mastered the art of command, not over the world, not over others, but over their own minds. Your mind can be a tyrant, a master of illusions, a puppeteer of hesitation, or it can be the most loyal ally you will ever possess, capable of moving mountains, forging empires, and manifesting visions before they have ever touched the world. The choice is not trivial. It is not passive. It is absolute. Doubt and fear will always attempt to enter through cracks in your focus, through your fatigue, through the weariness of a day that tests your resilience. But you, right now, at this very moment, must decide, will you let them in, or will you close the door and command the corridors of your mind with unwavering authority? Let us begin with the first truth that all who have achieved greatness know instinctively. Clarity is your weapon. Doubt thrives in vagueness. Fear flourishes in uncertainty. A mind that knows what it wants, a mind that has painted the details of its desired outcome in vivid, undeniable color, becomes impervious to the whispers of insecurity. I want you to see, not just imagine, but see the life you will build, the empire of thought and action that will be yours. Picture it as vividly as Edison visualized the filament glowing in the bulb, as Ford saw the first Model T rolling off a Detroit factory floor. The moment you cannot see it, doubt gains a foothold. The moment you cannot feel it, fear tightens its grip. You must burn the image into your consciousness so that even when the shadows arrive, they cannot extinguish your vision. Next comes the understanding that fear is a tool, not a tyrant. Every emotion, every thought that arises within you can be directed if you are deliberate. When fear appears, do not flee. Do not argue with it. Do not let it decide your trajectory. Instead, observe it, name it, analyze it. Where does it come from? What is its purpose? Then, with the precision of a general on a battlefield, deploy it to sharpen your strategy, to ignite your courage, to deepen your resolve. You will discover, as Lincoln did on the cold fields of political defeat, as Disney did in the darkened theater of bankruptcies and closed doors, that fear, once harnessed, becomes fuel. It does not destroy you, it instructs you. Now understand this, your thoughts are your architects. Each doubt that slips in, each fear that presses against your chest is a blueprint, not for limitation, but for creation if wielded correctly. Henry Ford did not see obstacles as impassable. He saw them as equations, as problems to be solved, as the raw material of progress. Your mind works identically. If you permit uncertainty to govern, your plans crumble. If you master your internal dialogue, molding it with discipline and relentless focus, your vision becomes inevitable. You must speak to yourself with authority. You must refuse the lies your mind whispers about your capacity, your value, your purpose. And here lies the critical battleground. Action transforms thought into dominion. You can command clarity. You can analyze fear. You can discipline your mind with relentless practice. But until you act, until you move your body in alignment with your vision, the mind will remain a dormant fortress, magnificent in architecture, yet empty in its halls. Carnegie built railroads not merely from plans, but from the labor of his own relentless execution. Edison did not merely dream of the bulb. He toiled until the filament held light against the darkness. You must move. Every step, no matter how small, is a declaration to your mind. You are master here. Fear has no sovereignty. Doubt is merely wind against the unshakable foundation of your resolve. Do not mistake hesitation for prudence. Do not mistake quiet for weakness. Your mind, when trained to see opportunity through the fog of fear, becomes a weapon of creation. Doubt may attempt to sabotage you. Fear may attempt to paralyze you. But the trained mind, your mind cuts through them as a blade through shadow. The question is not whether they will arrive. They will. The question is whether you have prepared your mind to respond, to bend them to your will, to use their presence as a ladder to ascend higher than ever before. Now let us speak of discipline, the silent architect of mastery. Discipline is not a rigid cage. It is the key that unlocks the full potential of your mind. Without it, even the brightest vision remains a flickering candle in the wind. Every thought that enters your consciousness is a seed. Some seeds grow weeds, doubt, fear, indecision. Others bloom into empires of wealth, purpose, and influence. The difference lies entirely in the gardener. You must train yourself to plant, nurture, and protect the seeds that serve your future. Carnegie disciplined his mornings to read and study. Ford disciplined his hands to toil beyond exhaustion. Edison disciplined his mind to fail brilliantly until success became inevitable. Do not misunderstand. Discipline is born not from desire but from commitment. The mind is lazy by nature. It seeks comfort. It craves ease. Fear leverages that laziness, whispering that you are not ready, that the timing is wrong, that the risk is too great. But you, standing at the edge of your potential, must confront this inertia. You must demand of yourself the consistent practice of your craft, the rigorous alignment of thought with action until the voice of doubt grows faint beneath the roar of your determination. Every day you delay, every hesitation you entertain, strengthens the tyranny of fear. Every decision to act, every moment you choose courage over comfort, weakens its grip and cements your dominion. Consider clarity of purpose. You cannot control your mind without a compass to guide it. Clarity is not vague intention. It is the unwavering knowledge of what you will create, who you will become, and the impact you will leave. Napoleon Hill himself discovered that the men who built fortunes were not driven by whims or random ambition. They were driven by a single defined aim. Carnegie wanted to build the largest steel empire the world had ever seen. Edison wanted light to banish darkness. Your mind, when aligned with a clear objective, becomes a magnet, drawing resources, ideas, and opportunities toward you. Doubt trembles in the presence of clarity. Fear hesitates when confronted by purpose. And hesitation, I tell you, is the enemy of progress. Next, consider the power of controlled focus. Your mind is assaulted every moment by distraction, social media, idle conversation, fear-based speculation, worry over outcomes yet unseen. Each fragment of attention you surrender to irrelevance is a seed sown for doubt. But the disciplined mind knows where to place its energy. Lincoln, facing the chaos of a divided nation, focused not on the impossibility of compromise but on the strategic steps that could unite a people. Disney, in the face of bankruptcy, focused not on the limits of his resources but on the animation, the stories, the worlds he could create. You must cultivate this same focused intensity. Refuse to fragment your consciousness. Refuse to permit trivialities to dilute your courage. Every hour, every thought, every effort must serve your mastery over your mind and your creation of your future. Now let us speak of gratitude, the overlooked weapon in the battle against doubt. A mind steeped in fear believes it lacks, that it is inadequate, that the path forward is closed. Gratitude, practiced deliberately, transforms perception. It is the lens that reveals opportunity where others see only obstruction. It is the force that aligns the universe with your intent. Every morning recount the victories already won, the resources already in your possession, the abilities and relationships you possess. Gratitude does not create complacency. It sharpens awareness. It fuels confidence. It tells doubt, you are powerless here. My mind knows its worth. My mind knows its direction. Resilience, too, is born of repeated confrontation with fear. You will stumble. You will fail. You will face moments when doubt is not a whisper but a scream. And in those moments, you must do what the greatest minds have always done. Persist. Edison tested thousands of filaments. Ford faced failure after failure. Lincoln endured loss after loss. Each time they returned not merely to try again, but to refine, to learn, to fortify their minds against future uncertainty. You too must understand that failure is not your enemy, doubt is not your jailer, fear is not your executioner. They are your instructors, your training partners in the gymnasium of greatness, and your mind, when trained to rise above them, becomes unstoppable. Finally, remember this: thoughts are commands, not suggestions. Every idea, every reaction, every self-conversation is a decree issued to the universe. Do not permit fear to whisper that you cannot. Do not permit doubt to suggest that you should wait. Command your mind with clarity, with discipline, with focus, with gratitude, with resilience. Declare to it, I am the master here. You will serve my vision. You will create my destiny. And when you speak with this authority, when you act with this conviction, doubt falters, fear retreats, and the mind, loyal and potent, becomes the vehicle of your triumph. Now let us explore the power of visualization. the sacred language of the mind. You see, your mind does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is physically experienced. Thomas Edison did not merely dream of electric light. He visualized every filament, every current, every glow until the invention became inevitable. Ford did not simply hope to build cars. He saw the assembly lines, the factories, the customers, the empire forming in his consciousness before the first bolt was turned. Your mind, when fed with vivid, intentional images of success, cannot help but begin constructing pathways in the physical world. Doubt quivers when confronted by a mind that sees victory before it arrives. Fear falters when the mind rehearses courage, resourcefulness, and triumph until they are as real as air in your lungs. Next, I implore you to confront the inner dialogue that governs your behavior. Most individuals are enslaved by subconscious conversations that whisper limitations, insecurities, and failure. These whispers, repeated daily, form chains around your potential. Break them. Speak to yourself as a commander speaks to a soldier. Affirm your worth, your capability, your inevitability. Say it with conviction, not with wishful thinking. Repeat it until your mind obeys without hesitation. I am capable. I am prepared. I am unstoppable. Let this voice echo louder than fear, overpower doubt, and drown the insidious murmurs of hesitation. Action, however, is the bridge between thought and reality. The most disciplined, focused, grateful, resilient mind remains dormant without decisive, persistent action. Carnegie, Edison, Lincoln, Ford, they did not merely cultivate thought, they acted relentlessly, often in the face of chaos, ridicule, and opposition. Every fear-laden step you take strengthens your command over the mind. Every action taken despite doubt fortifies your confidence. Understand this. The mind learns courage by acting courageously, fear by acting fearfully. If you wish to master doubt, you must act in alignment with your vision, even when fear presses its weight upon your chest. Adaptability is your shield in this war within. The world changes without warning, circumstances shift, obstacles appear, plans falter. A mind rigid in its expectations breaks under the first storm. A mind flexible, anchored in principles yet responsive to circumstance, thrives. Disney faced bankruptcy, yet he adapted, pivoted, and created an empire that continues to enchant generations. Your mind must learn to bend without breaking, to find opportunity within adversity, to convert obstacles into fuel for growth. Fear seeks rigidity. Resilience requires flexibility. Mastery of the mind is mastery of your response, not control over every external variable. Let us now speak of patience, often mistaken for passivity. Patience is not waiting. It is deliberate, unwavering confidence in the process, in your preparation, in the inevitability of your efforts. The universe may delay, the world may conspire to test your resolve, but patience allows your mind to maintain composure, clarity, and alignment. Those who rush, who panic, who surrender to impatience, feed fear and doubt. Those who wait intelligently, act decisively, and persist without wavering harness the true power of the mind. Finally, consider the community of influence. Your mind is shaped by the people, ideas, and environments it engages with. Surround yourself with those who elevate thought, who demand excellence, who reject fear as a master. Study the greats, not as passive observers, but as students in their laboratories of success. Carnegie learned from mentors. Edison learned from collaborators. Lincoln from advisors and texts. You too must curate the input to your mind, filtering out negativity, cynicism, and the poisonous whispers of doubt that seek to dilute your courage. Remember this above all. Your mind is not a passive tool to be tossed about by circumstance. It is a fortress, a command center, a vessel of infinite potential. Doubt is the siege engine, fear the invader, hesitation the traitor within. But with discipline, clarity, visualization, gratitude, action, adaptability, patience, and the right influences, you transform this battlefield into a kingdom, and in that kingdom, you are sovereign. Now let us delve into the alchemy of belief. Belief is not mere hope. It is the engine that drives your mind past the threshold of fear and doubt. Abraham Lincoln believed in the unity of a fractured nation long before he held office. Edison believed in the incandescent lamp despite thousands of failed experiments. Belief is the force that turns possibility into inevitability, that makes the invisible blueprint of your mind manifest in the tangible world. Without belief, the mind becomes a deserted city, walls crumbling under the siege of uncertainty. With belief, every thought becomes a soldier, every idea a weapon, every intention a strategy in the war against hesitation and fear. Clarity, my friend, is the companion of belief. A mind clouded with uncertainty invites doubt. A mind sharpened by purpose slices through hesitation like a sword through mist. To achieve clarity, you must define your objective with precision. Do not say, "I want success." Say, "I will achieve this goal by this method, in this time frame, with these specific actions." Every great achiever in history, from Carnegie to Ford to Disney, knew exactly what they sought, and the mind, once aligned, becomes an unstoppable current flowing toward the objective. Doubt loses its foothold when your vision is clear, when your steps are deliberate, when your actions are unshakable. Discipline is the forge in which your mind is tempered. Without discipline, belief remains wishful thinking, clarity remains a fleeting vision, action becomes erratic. Ford disciplined himself to labor day and night until the assembly line became reality. Lincoln disciplined his thoughts to focus on the ultimate goal, even amid failure, criticism, and despair. Discipline is the silent, uncelebrated hero of every success story. It is the repeated choice to think, act, and feel in alignment with your purpose, no matter the distractions, temptations, or obstacles. Gratitude, often overlooked, is the fuel that empowers the disciplined mind. It is the quiet declaration that you acknowledge the resources, lessons, and progress already in your possession. Gratitude sharpens the mind's focus, softens the edges of fear, and amplifies resilience. Thomas Edison expressed gratitude for each failure, recognizing in it the lessons that would eventually illuminate the world. Your mind, when steeped in gratitude, becomes resilient, creative, and alert. Doubt fades when the mind sees abundance rather than scarcity, opportunity rather than limitation. Resilience, the ability to endure, recover, and adapt, is your shield against the relentless assault of fear and doubt. Every obstacle, every setback, every rejection tests the mind. Will you crumble, or will you rise stronger? Every great innovator, leader, and achiever endured failures that would have broken lesser individuals, yet they persisted, learning, evolving, and acting with renewed determination. Fear cannot claim a mind fortified with resilience. Hesitation cannot enslave one prepared for adversity. Resilience is born not of comfort, but of challenge. It is forged in the fires of trial and emerges as an unyielding strength within the mind. Adaptability, too, must be embraced. Life rarely unfolds as planned. Circumstances shift, markets crash, relationships falter, opportunities appear and disappear in the blink of an eye. The mind that clings rigidly to expectation is quickly overcome. The mind that adapts, that pivots, that finds opportunity in change, thrives. Disney faced bankruptcy yet reinvented himself. Edison faced repeated failure yet innovated anew. Lincoln navigated political storms yet remained steadfast to principle. The adaptable mind sees the whispers of opportunity hidden within every challenge. Finally, take decisive action even when doubt persists. Knowledge, belief, clarity, discipline, and adaptability remain inert unless transformed into action. Fear seeks inaction, hesitation, and delay. Courage demands motion, even in the shadow of uncertainty. The mind learns courage by doing courageous acts, confidence by acting decisively, and mastery by practicing relentlessly. Do not wait for fear to vanish. Act despite it. Every step forward chips away at doubt, weakens fear, and solidifies command over your mind. Now let us confront the subtle yet lethal enemy, negative influence. Your mind, if left unattended, becomes a sponge for the doubts, fears, and limitations of those around you. The average person absorbs criticism, gossip, and pessimism as if it were nourishment. But you who seeks mastery over your mind must be vigilant. The voices you allow to echo within your consciousness must be chosen with precision. Surround yourself with thinkers who challenge you, dreamers who inspire you, and doers who act as proof of possibility. Just as Edison shielded his experiments from naysayers, you must protect your mind from the corrosive influence of doubt masquerading as advice. Visualization is the compass of the mind, pointing it toward its highest potential. Close your eyes and see the life you desire, not as a distant fantasy, but as a present reality. Feel it, breathe it, hear it. The mind cannot distinguish vividly imagined reality from tangible reality. It responds to conviction. Carnegie envisioned the Steel Empire, Disney envisioned enchanted worlds, Lincoln envisioned a united nation. Each began as a mental image, nurtured with relentless attention, clarity, and belief. Your visualization must be equally vivid, repeated daily, and fortified with unwavering belief. Fear of failure is a shadow that stalks every ambitious mind. Yet failure is not the enemy, it is a teacher, a mentor disguised in hardship. The mind that embraces failure as feedback, that studies each misstep for insight, gains a wisdom beyond the reach of those who avoid risk. Ford's first automobiles failed, Edison's lamps exploded, Lincoln's campaigns faltered. Each failure was a stepping stone, each setback a guidepost toward success. Your mind, once trained to reinterpret failure, converts fear into opportunity, doubt into strategy, hesitation into deliberate action. Language shapes reality. The words you speak to yourself and others carve pathways in your mind. Speak of possibility, not limitation. Speak of progress, not delay. Speak of mastery, not mediocrity. Napoleon Hill taught that your mind obeys the words you repeat with conviction. Tell yourself, I am capable, I am resilient, I will act. Let these declarations become the rhythm of your internal dialogue, a drumbeat guiding your actions and decisions. Intuition, the whisper of the subconscious, is a compass often ignored. Your mind, when disciplined and attuned, will provide flashes of insight, sudden understanding, and guidance beyond logic. Edison trusted his instincts. Disney followed his gut. Lincoln acted on profound intuitive insight. Doubt attempts to silence this inner voice, but the trained mind listens, interprets, and acts. The more you cultivate awareness, belief, and clarity, the louder and more reliable this inner guide becomes. Now consider the flow of energy in your daily life. Every thought, every action, every habit is a current that either strengthens your mind or weakens it. Feed it with purpose, creativity, and courage. Starve it of fear, hesitation, and doubt. Your mind responds to energy the way a sail responds to wind. It moves, it accelerates, it rises. To master doubt, you must fuel yourself with relentless energy, focused attention, and unshakable intent. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the triumph over it. Every time doubt creeps in, act. Every time hesitation whispers, move. Every time fear paralyzes, breathe, visualize, and take one deliberate step forward. The mind is a battlefield, and every courageous action is a victory. Every decisive movement, a claim over the territory of your inner world. Each victory, no matter how small, compounds, building unstoppable momentum until doubt is nothing more than a distant memory. Discipline is the scaffolding upon which your mind constructs reality. Without it, even the most brilliant ideas remain fragile and fleeting. The mind that obeys impulse, that capitulates to distraction, surrenders to doubt before it has had the chance to act. Carnegie imposed schedules upon himself that seemed rigid yet allowed freedom through focus. Edison conducted experiments with methodical repetition that others would call obsession, but his discipline transformed vision into invention. Your mind, when disciplined, forms habits that align thought with action, dreams with execution, and fear with courage. Do not underestimate the power of your environment. Your surroundings, the people you encounter, the media you consume, all shape the rhythm and tone of your thinking. Just as a garden cannot flourish if overrun with weeds, your mind cannot thrive amidst negative influence. Guard your mental space, curate it with precision, and watch as your confidence, clarity, and decisiveness grow unshakable. The mind is a mirror. Place it before inspiration, not limitation. Gratitude is an unexpected but potent weapon against doubt. A mind focused on scarcity, failure, or limitation amplifies fear, but a mind steeped in gratitude recognizes abundance, even in challenge, and draws strength from it. Lincoln, in the midst of civil war, found moments to reflect on the privilege of service. Disney, when studios mocked him, focused on the small victories that signaled progress. Gratitude primes your mind to see opportunity where others see obstruction, to detect whispers of the future amid the noise of the present. Action is the only antidote to doubt. The mind can theorize, imagine, and plan endlessly, but until action is taken, fear dominates. Each step you take, no matter how small, dismantles the illusions that feed doubt. Edison did not wait for the perfect moment, he created it. Ford did not wait for permission, he forged it. Your mind grows stronger, bolder, and more resilient each time you act in the face of uncertainty. Movement is proof to your subconscious that you are committed, and commitment is the signal that transforms possibility into reality. Adaptability is a companion to action. Circumstances are rarely ideal, and yet the mind that masters change thrives. Just as the river carves its path through rock, adapting to every obstacle, so too must your mind bend without breaking, redirecting its energy while maintaining its trajectory toward vision. Every challenge, every unexpected turn is an opportunity to refine strategy, strengthen resolve, and test the limits of your belief. Doubt fears change. Mastery embraces it. Resilience is cultivated through experience, not theory. The mind that withstands hardship, that absorbs the lessons of defeat without surrender, becomes indomitable. Every setback, every criticism, every moment of fear is a gymnasium for the mind. Edison endured ridicule, Lincoln endured loss, Disney endured failure, and through each, their resilience grew. Your mind, trained to endure and rebound, transforms adversity into momentum, doubt into fuel, and fear into stepping stones toward mastery. Learning is the lifeblood of mental mastery. A mind that stops seeking knowledge stagnates, and doubt creeps in through ignorance. Study, observe, experiment, and refine. Carnegie, Edison, Lincoln, Disney, they were relentless in curiosity. The disciplined mind absorbs every insight, discards what is irrelevant, and applies what is powerful. Doubt cannot survive in a mind that is perpetually learning, growing, and applying knowledge to action. The mind, when faced with fear, often exaggerates danger, inflates risk, and magnifies uncertainty. But you have the power to recalibrate this perception. Every time doubt whispers that you cannot, challenge it with evidence of your past victories. Recall the moments when hesitation dissolved, when courage propelled you forward, when you acted despite uncertainty and triumphed. The mind remembers success more vividly than fear, but only if you train it to. This is the subtle but unstoppable alchemy of mental conditioning. Visualization is a tool of immense potency. Picture your success not as a distant fantasy, but as a present reality. Ford did not see a car in the future. He saw it in the workshop, in the factory, in the hands of customers. Edison did not imagine a light bulb as a concept. He imagined it illuminating homes and streets. When doubt creeps in, return to this visualization. Let the mind dwell in the certainty of achievement so that hesitation finds no foothold. Your imagination is the rehearsal space for reality. Practice with conviction. Affirmation is the language that bridges belief and action. Speak to your mind the truths you wish to embody. I am capable. I am disciplined. I am relentless. These words are not empty. They are commands to the subconscious, directives that align thought, emotion, and behavior. Carnegie repeated his affirmations until they were as natural as breath. Your mind will obey not because it fears, but because it recognizes consistency and purpose. Doubt loses its grip when your internal narrative is unwavering and resolute. Fear itself is nothing but borrowed imagination. It grows only when entertained, nurtured, and indulged. Recognize fear for what it is, a signal, not a verdict, a warning, not a sentence. When fear rises, observe it, acknowledge it, and then act anyway. Each confrontation with fear is a lesson in courage, a test of resolve, a reinforcement of mental sovereignty. Edison faced skepticism daily, Lincoln faced national despair, Disney faced ridicule and rejection, and each moved forward because they refused to grant fear the authority to dictate their minds. Focus is your weapon against mental erosion. The mind that flits from distraction to distraction becomes fragile, anxious, and unsure. The mind that focuses relentlessly on a defined goal becomes precise, resilient, and unstoppable. Like a lens converging light into fire, focus directs the energy of your thoughts, magnifying power, clarifying purpose, and annihilating hesitation. Doubt thrives in scattered attention, but the disciplined mind, focused and intentional, leaves no space for it to grow. Commitment is the bridge between thought and reality. To commit is to declare to your subconscious, to the universe, and to yourself that you will act until success manifests. Carnegie committed to wealth through knowledge, Edison committed to invention through experimentation, Lincoln committed to unity through perseverance, Disney committed to imagination through execution. When your mind is committed, doubt cannot penetrate, fear cannot sway. Every step you take becomes purposeful, every obstacle a lesson, and every challenge an opportunity to reinforce your inner mastery. Action again is the antidote. Plan, visualize, affirm, but ultimately you must move. The mind obeys momentum. Small steps compound into great triumphs. Doubt is always loudest in the absence of movement. Each deliberate act, each choice to advance despite fear, dismantles uncertainty and constructs a path toward certainty. The mind that acts is a mind in command, a mind that whispers to the universe, I am master here, not slave. Resilience is forged in the crucible of repeated challenge. Your mind, when tested by doubt, will seek an easy escape, a convenient surrender, a soft compromise. Do not grant it permission. Every time you resist the urge to retreat, every time you push through discomfort, every time you persist when the world doubts, you strengthen the neural pathways of courage and determination. Carnegie's wealth was built on rejection, Edison's brilliance on failure, Lincoln's leadership on despair. Each obstacle was a teacher, each setback a tutor, each moment of fear a forge for mental fortitude. Adaptability is the silent master of control. Life does not bend to your plans. It tests, it shifts, it challenges. A mind that adapts does not crumble under changing circumstances. It recalibrates, it redirects, it overcomes. Disney did not achieve magic by repeating old formulas. He transformed every failure into innovation. Ford did not dominate the automobile industry by resisting change. He refined, adjusted, and evolved. Your mind, when flexible yet disciplined, remains sovereign even amidst chaos. Doubt loses its grip when adaptability becomes second nature. Gratitude is the shield that protects against fear's corrosive influence. A mind focused on lack amplifies worry. A mind focused on abundance cultivates power. Begin each day enumerating victories, opportunities, and strengths. Edison celebrated every small discovery. Lincoln honored every loyal supporter. Disney appreciated every imagination that inspired him. Gratitude rewires perception, creating a mind that notices solutions rather than obstacles, courage rather than hesitation. When fear creeps in, let gratitude speak louder. It anchors the mind in reality, perspective, and power. Learning from every challenge is the fuel of mastery. The mind that refuses to be taught by adversity is a mind that remains enslaved. Every failure contains the blueprint for progress. Every mistake the map for future success. When doubt arises, dissect it. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How can I convert this obstacle into knowledge, into strength, into advantage? Knowledge transforms fear into strategy, hesitation into action, and weakness into skill. The mind that learns constantly is a mind that commands itself with precision and authority. Discipline is the architect of freedom. It is not punishment, it is liberation. The mind untrained becomes a servant of circumstance, a hostage to whim and impulse. The mind disciplined becomes a sovereign force capable of sustaining focus, of directing energy, of resisting temptation, of conquering fear. Ford's factories thrived on disciplined systems, Carnegie's enterprises on disciplined effort, Edison's laboratories on disciplined experimentation. To control your mind is to impose the architecture of your own success, brick by brick, thought by thought, act by act. Purpose is the ultimate compass. Without it, the mind drifts, lost in doubt, fear, and indecision. With it, the mind navigates storms, overcomes obstacles, and harnesses uncertainty as a tool. Define your purpose with clarity and insistence. Make it so vivid, so compelling, that every decision, every effort, every act of courage aligns naturally toward its fulfillment. Lincoln held on to the purpose of unity, Disney to the purpose of imagination, Carnegie to the purpose of empowerment. Purpose transforms doubt from a barricade into a signal, a reminder that your destination is not negotiable. Belief is the seed from which all mastery grows. Without unwavering faith in your capabilities, doubt will infiltrate, fear will linger, hesitation will dominate. Cultivate belief through visualization, affirmation, past success, discipline, and preparation. The mind that believes is unstoppable. Edison believed he would light the world. Carnegie believed he would create wealth through knowledge. Lincoln believed he would preserve a nation. Your belief is the engine, and every act of courage, discipline, adaptability, and learning is the fuel. Action is the crucible in which belief and discipline are tested and strengthened. A mind filled with ideas, visions, and purpose remains powerless until action animates it. Do not wait for perfect conditions, for permission, or for external validation. The world rewards execution, not hesitation. Edison did not theorize forever, he experimented. Ford did not plan endlessly, he built. Lincoln did not wait for consensus, he acted decisively in the face of immense opposition. Every small step taken with intent and courage compounds into unstoppable momentum. Fear loses its power when confronted with deliberate action. Perseverance is the lifeblood of victory. You will face resistance, rejection, and doubt from within and from the world around you. Each obstacle tests your resolve. Each moment of fatigue challenges your will. Each criticism measures your commitment. Do not yield. The mind that endures refines itself, develops resilience, and discovers depths of strength previously unknown. Every rejection is a lesson, every setback a stepping stone. Carnegie understood the value of relentless pursuit, Edison the virtue of persistent experimentation, Disney the necessity of never quitting on imagination. Perseverance is the declaration that your mind is master, not slave. Visualization transforms the intangible into reality. The mind cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined outcome and a real one. Envision your purpose, your triumph, your ideal self with such clarity and intensity that it becomes your mental compass. Each thought, each imagined scene shapes your actions, influences your choices, and directs your energy toward inevitable achievement. Athletes, inventors, and leaders have long harnessed this power. Imagine like Lincoln before delivering a critical address, like Edison before testing a new circuit, like Disney before sketching a new character. Let the mind see what the world cannot yet perceive, and it will guide you there. Clarity of thought is the beacon amidst the fog of doubt. A mind clouded by uncertainty and indecision becomes paralyzed, manipulated, and fearful. Define your objectives with precision. Examine your options, evaluate your strengths, acknowledge your weaknesses, and chart your course with unshakable certainty. Carnegie's strategic philanthropy, Edison's methodical experimentation, Ford's systematic production, all required clarity. When doubt creeps in, return to clarity. Reassess, refine, and reaffirm your plan. The mind anchored in clarity cannot be swayed by fear or hesitation. Discipline of attention directs energy to the most potent forces. Your mind is bombarded constantly by distraction, temptation, and irrelevant information. Learn to focus on what truly matters, your purpose, your vision, your growth. Ford mastered production by directing attention to efficiency. Disney mastered creativity by prioritizing imagination. Lincoln mastered leadership by concentrating on unity and justice. The mind trained to focus converts knowledge into action, belief into results, vision into reality. Distraction feeds doubt. Focus strengthens mastery. Gratitude is not passive, it is active power. Recognize every opportunity, every lesson, every moment of progress. Gratitude sharpens perception, transforms challenge into advantage, and fuels the mind with positive energy that fear cannot penetrate. Carnegie appreciated the value of employees. Edison celebrated each discovery. Lincoln honored every loyal supporter. Gratitude does not soften resolve, it sharpens it. When doubt whispers, let gratitude roar. It reinforces perspective, clarity, and confidence. Adaptability is the silent strategy of the victorious mind. Circumstances shift, obstacles appear, and plans falter. The mind that adapts does not crumble. It innovates, redirects, and seizes advantage where others see defeat. Edison pivoted after countless failures. Disney adjusted with every creative challenge. Ford evolved with each market shift. When fear tries to immobilize, adaptability empowers. Every obstacle becomes a tool, every setback a resource, every change a chance to demonstrate that your mind is master, not slave. Resilience is forged in the furnace of difficulty. Your mind will encounter storms of doubt, torrents of criticism, and earthquakes of unexpected misfortune. To survive and thrive, you must build a mental fortitude that refuses to break. Each trial is a mirror reflecting your inner strength, each setback a teacher instructing you in mastery. Edison endured thousands of failed experiments, yet the mind that refused to quit ultimately illuminated the world. Lincoln faced unrelenting opposition, yet he steered a nation through its darkest hours. Ford confronted naysayers and economic uncertainty, yet revolutionized industry. When fear creeps in, resilience answers with unwavering persistence. Learning is not optional, it is the sustenance of progress. The mind that stops learning stagnates, falters, and succumbs to doubt. Seek knowledge relentlessly. From every experience, every failure, every interaction. Carnegie read constantly. Edison observed meticulously. Disney experimented endlessly. Learning transforms mistakes into guidance, setbacks into wisdom, and challenges into mastery. Every day, every moment presents an opportunity to sharpen the mind and fortify belief. The mind that learns refuses to be a slave to circumstance. Courage is the engine of every triumph. It is not the absence of fear, but the mastery of it. Every successful man and woman, every visionary, every creator has felt fear's cold grip, yet they acted anyway. Carnegie faced financial ruin and uncertainty. Edison faced repeated public skepticism. Lincoln faced death threats and betrayal. Courage is the declaration that fear does not control you, that your mind is sovereign. When doubt or worry whispers, courage answers, I will act, I will persist, I will prevail. Purpose transforms existence into achievement. Without a clearly defined purpose, energy scatters, focus dissipates, and the mind becomes a servant to indecision. Define your purpose with precision and passion. Let it ignite every thought, guide every action, and sustain every struggle. Purpose is the beacon that directs the mind through storms, the compass that ensures perseverance, and the foundation that transforms vision into reality. Ford's purpose drove innovation. Disney's purpose fueled imagination. Lincoln's purpose united a nation. When the mind aligns with purpose, it cannot be enslaved by fear or doubt. Faith in oneself and in the unseen power of potential is the lifeblood of accomplishment. Belief is not passive, it is action in the mind. Visualize victory with certainty, act with confidence, and the universe will respond. Every inventor, entrepreneur, and leader has harnessed faith to surmount obstacles and transform ideas into reality. Edison's faith in electricity, Carnegie's faith in enterprise, Disney's faith in imagination, they all demonstrate that belief, when married to action, overcomes the impossible. Faith converts the whispers of your mind into shouts of achievement. Discipline of thought channels energy with precision. The mind is a tool, and every thought is a hammer strike shaping reality. Guard your mind from negativity, doubt, and indecision. Cultivate thoughts that reinforce confidence, focus, and determination. Carnegie's strategic decisions, Edison's experimental methodology, Disney's creative rigor, all exemplify minds trained in discipline. When you control thought, you control action, and when you control action, you shape destiny. Every obstacle, every delay, every challenge is a signal from the universe, a whisper from the future guiding your growth. Do not resist it. Do not fear it. Embrace it. Let every difficulty refine your mind, strengthen your belief, and sharpen your purpose. Remember, the mind that masters itself is unstoppable, fearless, and destined for achievement. It is not your circumstances, your critics, or your fears that define you. It is your mind, your belief, your unwavering commitment to act with courage, discipline, and purpose. Action is the language of the mind in motion. Thought alone cannot conquer reality. Belief alone cannot manifest destiny. You must move, persist, and act with relentless determination. Every great achievement in history was preceded by decisive, fearless action. Edison did not merely imagine the light bulb. He built it, tested it, and rebuilt it countless times. Lincoln did not merely dream of a united nation. He legislated, debated, and endured. Disney did not merely envision magic. He constructed worlds from imagination and sweat. Action transforms vision into reality. Patience is the quiet strength of the disciplined mind. The universe often delays, but delay is not denial. Every delay, every setback is an opportunity to refine, strengthen, and focus. The mind that grows impatient reacts in fear, doubt, and surrender. The mind that masters patience learns strategy, timing, and endurance. Carnegie waited for the right investments. Edison waited for the correct formula. Lincoln waited for the right moment to act. Patience is not inaction. It is focused preparation and unwavering belief that the right moment will come and you will act with precision. Gratitude transforms struggle into perspective. A mind consumed by resentment, envy, or complaint cannot achieve greatness. Focus instead on opportunity, learning, and progress. Recognize that even failure carries gifts, knowledge, resilience, and clarity. Every historical titan embraced gratitude as a mental discipline. Thomas Edison expressed gratitude for every failed experiment that taught him what would work. Lincoln found grace in the midst of tragedy and division. Gratitude sharpens the mind, fuels belief, and reinforces the understanding that you are the master of your thoughts and actions. Adaptability is the hallmark of survival and triumph. The world changes. Circumstances shift and plans falter. The mind enslaved by rigidity suffers. The mind that masters adaptability bends, adjusts, and evolves without losing its focus or purpose. Ford revolutionized transportation by adapting his methods and embracing innovation. Disney transformed animation and entertainment by constantly evolving his craft. The successful mind sees change as a teacher, not a threat, and bends like bamboo in the wind without breaking. Fear is the mind's greatest enemy, yet it can be conquered. Fear feeds doubt, immobilizes action, and clouds clarity. Every mind has the power to confront fear and transform it into fuel. Carnegie faced financial insecurity, Edison faced ridicule, Lincoln faced threats to his life, and every step they took was shadowed by fear. Yet they acted anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the mastery of it. Face your fears as you would confront a storm, head on with resolve and unshakable belief in your capacity to prevail. Resilience is built through relentless engagement with life's trials. Your mind must be trained to endure, adapt, and overcome. Obstacles are not barriers, they are invitations to grow stronger. When doubt creeps in, resilience answers with persistence. When criticism attacks, resilience answers with continued effort. When failure strikes, resilience answers with lessons learned. Edison, Carnegie, Lincoln, Disney, they all endured moments that could have destroyed them, yet they pressed forward. The resilient mind transforms adversity into fuel for achievement. Every thought you nurture, every belief you cultivate, every action you take shapes the reality you experience. Your mind is either your master or your slave. It dictates your perception, your choices, and your destiny. Will you enslave your mind to doubt, fear, and delay, or will you command it with clarity, courage, and purpose? The choice is yours, and the consequences are monumental. Master your mind, and you master your life. You must understand this. Doubt and fear are not enemies you can avoid. They are shadows that cling to the edges of every human mind. They are the whispers of the untrained mind, the echoes of past failures, the murmurs of uncertainty that attempt to convince you that the path you are on is impossible, that the vision you carry is too vast, too audacious. But let me tell you this with unwavering certainty. The presence of fear does not mean you are weak. It means you are alive, that you are standing on the threshold of growth, that you are touching the boundaries of what is truly possible. History is littered with men and women who faced the tremors of fear and the paralysis of doubt, yet they rose. Thomas Edison, confronted by endless nights of failure, heard the mocking whispers of impossibility with every failed filament, but he did not surrender. He transformed doubt into data, fear into fuel, and the world into witness of what one persistent mind can achieve. This is the principle. Doubt is not your destroyer unless you allow it to be. Fear is not your jailer unless you hand it the key. Discipline, my friend, is your sword, and clarity is your shield. When doubt creeps in, it is because your mind has lost focus on the vision it was entrusted to carry. Remember why you began, not why the world doubts. Hold the image of your goal as if it is already etched into reality, because the mind cannot differentiate between vivid imagination and present reality when you feed it with unwavering belief. Your mind is like a garden. Plant the seeds of fear, and weeds will grow. Plant the seeds of certainty, purpose, and disciplined action, and the garden will blossom beyond imagination. You will face moments when fear comes wrapped in convincing disguises. It will tell you that the risk is too great, that the sacrifice is too heavy, that the world is too cruel. In those moments, your power lies in choice. Will you obey the fear, allowing it to dictate your actions, to confine you within the smallness of safe mediocrity, or will you defy it, stand firm in the knowledge that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act despite it, to press forward when the body quivers and the mind hesitates? Every successful mind in history, from Carnegie to Ford, from Lincoln to Disney, encountered fear as a gatekeeper. The gatekeeper does not vanish with prayer alone. It must be faced, stared into, understood, and then surpassed. Fear is data, doubt is information. Both are messages, not mandates. Learn the language of your inner whispers, and do not allow the loudest voices, the ones that scream of impossibility, to drown out the quiet, persistent voice of conviction within. Action is your instrument of control. The mind can spiral endlessly in hesitation, but it cannot resist action. Decide now, move forward step by step, thought by thought, until every hesitation is replaced with momentum, every doubt replaced with tangible progress. Start where you are, with what you have, and do not pause until your actions speak louder than your fears. Remember, the mind is a faithful servant or a merciless master, depending entirely on who holds the reins. You must hold the reins. Do not mistake patience for passivity. Delay is inevitable in the pursuit of greatness, but delay is not denial. The mind that can wait with purpose, that can persist with deliberate action despite fear, will see doors open where others see walls. The mind that allows fear to dictate timing, that cowers at delay, will remain shackled, watching as opportunity passes by. Control your mind, control your perception of time, and you will bend the future to your will. This is the call. When doubt creeps in, when fear whispers that you cannot, do not listen. Instead, tune your mind to the frequency of your vision. Hear the whisper from the future that says you can, that says your goal exists because you have the capacity to reach it. See yourself not as limited by circumstances, but as a force designed to transcend them. You are the author of your thoughts, the commander of your actions, and the architect of the life that is waiting beyond fear. Now stand firm. In the quiet moments when the world is still and your mind races with what-ifs, remind yourself, your mind is not the enemy, it is the vehicle. Fear is not a barrier, it is a signal. Doubt is not a verdict, it is a test. Pass this test not by avoiding the discomfort, but by embracing it with courage, with clarity, with relentless, disciplined action. And know this, every step you take in defiance of fear, every moment you choose belief over hesitation, is a victory that cannot be measured in applause or recognition, but in the quiet expansion of your power, the awakening of your potential, and the transformation of your vision into reality. You must understand that control over the mind is not a one-time achievement. It is a lifelong exercise, a commitment that demands vigilance, awareness, and intentionality. The moment you allow your thoughts to wander unchecked, the moment you permit fear to whisper unchecked lies, you relinquish the reins. The mind, when left unmanaged, will drift into doubt, replaying old failures, magnifying imagined threats, and diminishing the clarity of your purpose. But you are not a passive passenger, you are the pilot, the commander of this extraordinary machine of potential. Every thought you entertain is a brick in the structure of your reality. Every action, even the smallest, is mortar binding that structure into existence. The mind does not differentiate between imagined defeat and actual defeat. It accepts both as instruction. This is why vision, clarity, and belief are indispensable. When doubt creeps in, it is attempting to rewrite your blueprint. Do not allow it. Hold the design of your goal with unwavering focus. See it, feel it, breathe it. Let your mind's eye paint every detail with such intensity that hesitation becomes inconsequential and fear cannot survive in the presence of such certainty. Discipline is the tool that transforms this vision into action. Consider the lives of men like Ford, who faced the ridicule of peers and the impossibility of circumstances, yet refused to yield. Consider Edison, whose laboratories were littered with failure after failure, yet whose disciplined focus turned trial into triumph. Every great achievement in history has been built on the backbone of disciplined thought and relentless action. Without it, even the greatest vision will remain a whisper unheard, a potential unfulfilled. Adaptability is your ally. Fear and doubt are unpredictable. They manifest in ways you cannot always foresee. The world will shift, opportunities will change, and obstacles will appear where none were expected. A mind under your control does not resist change. It anticipates it, learns from it, and leverages it. Every obstacle, every unexpected turn is a message from the universe, a signal not of failure, but of the opportunity to refine, strengthen, and escalate your efforts. The obstacle is not a blockade. It is a teacher, a guide, a compass pointing you toward mastery. Gratitude is your armor. In the face of doubt, in the shadow of fear, the mind that dwells on lack or limitation is a mind surrendered. But the mind that practices gratitude, that acknowledges progress, that celebrates the small victories even amidst challenge, fortifies itself against the corrosive whispers of insecurity. Gratitude aligns your energy with possibility. It is the lens through which your vision becomes clearer, sharper, and more compelling. Resilience is your engine. Every step forward, every act of courage, every choice to persist despite fear compounds into strength. Understand that the mind thrives on patterns. The more you act in defiance of fear, the more your mental pathways are reinforced. The more you respond with clarity, purpose, and action, the more resilient you become. Doubt may knock, fear may claw, but a disciplined, focused, grateful, and resilient mind is unassailable. Now imagine the life that lies on the other side of doubt, the other side of fear. See yourself moving with confidence, speaking with authority, acting with purpose. Every challenge you have faced, every fear you have confronted, every doubt you have silenced has led you to this point. Your vision is not a dream, it is a whisper from the future, a signal of what is already within your capacity to achieve. Listen carefully, act decisively, and let no whisper of fear drown out the call of your potential. Remember this, the mind obeys the strongest signal. If fear is louder, it dominates. If doubt is insistent, it commands. But if your belief is steadfast, your focus unyielding, and your action relentless, then the mind bends to your will. You become the master of the very force that can either destroy or create your reality. You hold the pen, you write the story, you shape the destiny. Stand firm, act boldly, and control your mind. For in this control lies the power to transform hesitation into courage, obstacles into opportunities, whispers into symphonies of achievement. Your mind is your servant, your ally, your most faithful companion in the creation of a life that surpasses expectation. Guard it, guide it, and let no shadow of doubt or fear ever claim dominion over your destiny. The mind that is mastered is a force more powerful than any external circumstance. It does not wait for conditions to be perfect. It does not pause for the approval of others. It acts, it creates, it transforms. Think of Lincoln navigating a nation divided, standing against doubt, ridicule, and near insurmountable opposition. Consider Carnegie, whose vision of steel and industry reshaped an entire economy, not because the world was ready, but because he disciplined his mind to see the possibilities hidden in chaos. Every great figure who changed the course of history did so because they learned to act with conviction, to think with clarity, and to persist when doubt screamed louder than reason. You must realize that fear and hesitation are the currency of the uncommitted mind. Every moment you indulge them, you pay a price in lost opportunity, in delayed destiny, in unfulfilled potential. The mind that you control does not bargain with fear. It recognizes fear as a signal, a test, a prompt to sharpen your focus, to increase your resolve, and to accelerate your actions. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move forward despite it. The mind that masters fear transforms it into fuel. Discipline shapes the raw energy of thought into the precision of action. It demands consistency, repetition, and the willingness to endure discomfort. Edison endured endless failure before the invention of the electric light. Ford faced failure after failure, yet the discipline of belief, focus, and relentless experimentation brought them breakthroughs that changed the world. Your mind requires the same training, the same insistence on purpose, the same refusal to allow temporary setbacks to dictate permanent outcomes. Vision is your compass, and clarity is your map. Without these, action is aimless, energy is wasted, and doubt gains ground. Visualize your success with the vividness of reality. Feel it, hear it, live it in your imagination. The mind cannot distinguish between vivid imagination and reality. It responds to the intensity of thought. Use this to your advantage. Speak your vision into existence, act on it with urgency, and refuse to accept anything less than complete alignment with your highest goals. Adaptability is the engine that drives sustained achievement. Life will never proceed in a straight line. Opportunities will appear in disguise. Setbacks will test your resilience, and unexpected challenges will emerge. The mind under your control does not collapse under change. It observes, learns, recalibrates, and acts with wisdom. Each obstacle, each failure, each unexpected turn is not a deterrent but a tutor, teaching lessons that fortify your ability to achieve greater outcomes. Gratitude is not passive sentiment, it is active power. The mind that focuses on what is lacking feeds fear. The mind that focuses on what is present and growing creates energy. Count your progress, acknowledge your victories, and reinforce the certainty that you are moving toward a destiny that is both inevitable and extraordinary. Gratitude aligns your mental and emotional faculties, strengthening the bridge between thought and reality. Resilience is forged in the crucible of challenge. Every difficulty encountered, every fear faced, every doubt confronted strengthens the mind, sharpens the focus, and deepens the belief in one's ability to overcome. The world honors the resilient, rewards the persistent, and yields to those who refuse to surrender. Understand this: your mind's resilience determines the magnitude of your accomplishments. Action is the measure of mastery. Thought without action is empty. Vision without effort is fantasy. Every great achievement in history was preceded by decisive, relentless action. Do not wait for conditions to align. Do not defer to perfect timing. Create the conditions, define the timing, and act now. The mind that masters hesitation commands destiny itself. The final measure of a mind mastered is not in comfort, not in fleeting success, not in temporary victories. It is in the ability to stand unshaken in the face of doubt, to rise stronger after failure, to act with unwavering clarity when the world screams chaos. Every whisper of fear, every shadow of hesitation, every moment of uncertainty is an invitation to step into power, to assert control over your own destiny. The universe tests no one more than those who are capable of greatness. It challenges, delays, and obstructs only to separate the timid from the determined. Understand this truth: The obstacles you encounter are not barriers. They are mirrors reflecting the strength of your mind. They reveal whether you allow circumstance to control you or whether you control circumstance. Edison faced ridicule when he failed thousands of times, yet his mind refused to bow. Carnegie was doubted by financiers, mocked by competitors, yet he persisted. Lincoln was derided by his own nation, yet he led through vision, purpose, and unshakable belief. In every case, it was the mastery of the mind that transformed adversity into triumph, doubt into determination, and delay into eventual victory. Do not underestimate the whispers of your own mind. They are the compass pointing toward greatness. The vision that you carry, every inspired idea, every dream that ignites passion, is not a fantasy. It is a whisper from the future, a call to action from your highest self. You must honor it with thought, discipline, and relentless action. Each day you delay, each moment you succumb to hesitation, the whisper grows fainter, the opportunity diminishes. But when you act decisively, the whisper becomes a roar, and the world bends to your resolve. Fear will appear. Doubt will attempt to anchor you. Others will ridicule, betray, and underestimate you. The mind under your control does not resist these forces in panic. It meets them with courage, with reason, with focus. Resilience becomes instinct, clarity becomes habitual, and belief transforms from hope into undeniable certainty. You are not at the mercy of circumstance. You are the master of your own destiny. Action aligned with vision is unstoppable. You cannot wait for permission, approval, or perfect timing. Every step taken with purpose, every choice made with awareness, every effort directed toward your vision compounds into results beyond imagination. The mind that is disciplined, that is focused, that is unafraid, does not merely survive, it conquers. It does not merely dream, it manifests. It does not merely wait, it achieves. Now hear this, with the conviction that your future depends upon. Your mind is either your master or your slave. It cannot be neutral. It cannot be undecided. Every thought you entertain, every belief you nurture, every action you take either elevates you or enslaves you. If you master it, you unlock the ability to create, to innovate, to lead, to conquer challenges that others deem impossible. If you allow it to dominate you, doubt, fear, and inaction will define your life. So seize control, discipline your thoughts, align your vision with purpose, act with courage, persist through delay, adapt to change, cultivate gratitude, embrace resilience, transform fear into fuel, and never ever allow hesitation to dictate your destiny. The whisper from your future, the vision within your mind, calls to you now. Will you answer it? Will you act? Will you become the master of the mind that shapes your world, or will you remain a slave to circumstance, to fear, to delay? The choice is yours. The time is now. The mind is the key, and mastery is the path. Step forward, unwavering, and claim the life that your vision has been whispering into your soul since the moment you dared to dream. Delay is not denial, and greatness is not reserved. It is claimed by those who command their minds with courage, conviction, and relentless action.